Hello and welcome to this Dead by Daylight video. Today I'll be giving you some tips on how to survive Nurse, so let's get into it, shall we? So one of my tips for playing against Nurse is to try and get things in between you and Nurse to block the line of sight. So in that way the Nurse doesn't know where you are, she doesn't know whereabouts to blink. She might have an idea, but it will help you to get away from Nurse. Because she could think that you're going over to the left, or you actually just keep on going straight ahead, maybe through a window or something. So yes, it's always a good idea. If you can, try and get things in between you and Nurse. So in that way she has to blink through something and waste a blink if she misses you. So my second tip for Nurse is that if she's like close behind you, don't go like zigzaggy attempting to like trick her and everything, because with Nurse you can outrun her because she's slower than survivors. Just like as a base Nurse, she's slower than survivors in that. So you can just run straight ahead and outrun her. But if she's like further behind you, then like I said, try and block line of sight. If you see her charging up her blink, you can always try to run back towards her, which with some Nurses it may not work. Or you can just start off to the left or the right, try and make her miss a hit and get fatigued. So tip number 3, 4, and 5, because these are small little tips that will probably come in handy. So when you're on a gen and the Nurse comes and blinks up behind you, she can grab you off the gen before coming fatigued and that. And if she also does pick you up off the gen, then she won't be fatigued and she'll just skip that phase and she can just hook you. So do be wary of that when you're on a gen. And the fourth tip is when you're being chased by Nurse and she starts to blink to you and you're by a pallet, you can pull down that pallet, possibly stun her. It's a bit iffy and to whether you can stun her in the middle of a blink or something. I've had mixed results with it. As you can see, I did stun the Nurse, but she was just coming out of blink, so I don't know if that's the reason why, but yes. And also if you do pull down the pallet before she blinks, then she might not blink to the other side of the pallet, which might give you enough chance to get away, which is good. And tip number 5, if there's a locker near you or if you're in a locker when the Nurse blinks to you, she cannot open up the locker until she's been through her fatigued. So do think about that. If you're being chased and there's a locker near you, you can jump in it and wait for the Nurse to become fatigued so you can jump out safely and hopefully make a quick getaway. So do think about that when you are facing up against a Nurse. And the last thing is, if you do have a torch and you can like shine the torch on the Nurse before she starts to charge up her blink, then she won't be able to charge up her blink, so you could get her stuck behind a pallet or something until she like moves away from the torch behind cover or something. So do be wary of that. But if the Nurse does start to charge up her blink before you manage to get the torch on her, then it won't disable her blink and she will still be able to use it as normal. However, you still can blind her, which may be an advantage, but do be careful about that. So hopefully this video helped you out to survive against Nurse, and if it did, feel free to like this video, subscribe to it, and leave a comment down below for any other video ideas, or if something that I missed out that you'd like to let other people know. Also feel free to let them know in the comments below. Chat about DBD. I mainly play DBD. I mainly play Dead by Daylight, so feel free to come out, hang out and everything. I'll be back next week with another video on how to play a different killer, so feel free to go and watch that. And if you missed out on my video on how to play Nurse, there's a video, it is linked right there, and I'll link it down in the description below. And I hope you have a great rest of your day, night, morning, or whatever time it is for you. Bye!